This is the worst installment in the Doom trilogy, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game. Welcome to Bite Size Bunny, my name's Tony, and today we are going to be talking about Doom the Dark Ages. Doom the Dark Ages is the third installment in the most recent reboot of the Doom franchise, and it acts as a prequel to Doom 2016. In this story, the Doom Slayer is working with humanity to try and help save them as they are at war with the armies of hell led by generic bad guy of the week. Personally, I don't really play the Doom games for their story, so I wasn't really expecting much with this game's narrative. But id Software fully commits to trying to give an epic story with Doom the Dark Ages, and sadly it kind of backfires here. As I approached the finale of this game, I thought to myself, wow, this is like if Bungie tried to make Halo Reach except for it went horribly wrong. They really try to flesh out the lore and backstory of the Doom Slayer as well as humanity's fight against hell in this game, and they just really dropped the ball here. And what you get instead here is a painfully dull story that is mind-numbingly boring. Which is really saddening because you can tell while playing this game they really wanted to do something special with the narrative this time around. Especially considering the number of cutscenes that are in this game, and they're not really short either. They fully commit to it, for better or for worse. It just happened to fall flat. While also showcasing that the Doom Slayer works better as a solo protagonist, because there are all these side characters scattered throughout the game that I just found myself really not caring about, and then top it all off with antagonists that are just generic and soulless. Then we've got the audio design and soundtrack, and both are nowhere near as good in Doom the Dark Ages as they should be, especially in comparison to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. Doom the Dark Ages feels like it's missing so much personality thanks to its inferior sound design and soundtrack. While the other two games succeed at having songs that will stick with you long after you actually complete them, Dark Ages has music that feels like it's trying its best to recapture the magic of the other two games' OSTs, but ends up feeling like an imitation job. It's truly forgettable, which is extremely heartbreaking because these were some of my favorite elements of these games. The sound design is sadly really lacking too. Nothing packs a punch in this game. It doesn't matter if you're using your shotgun, the new shield that's been added to your arsenal, your melee attacks, or shit, even the giant ass mechs you get to control. Nothing feels as impactful as it should. And it all just leaves you wanting more. And then we've got the gameplay, because that is what the Doom games are known for. While Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal were all about their run and gun gameplay, providing plenty of fun, fast-paced action with their combat, Doom the Dark Ages mixes things up by slowing things down and focusing more on making the player feel like an unstoppable tank. Instead of that run and gun gameplay that we have become accustomed to, Dark Ages is all about standing your ground and mowing down hordes upon hordes of demons. It still absolutely feels like a Doom game, and while the changes they made here aren't bad, I did find myself missing that run and gun gameplay that I grew to love with the previous installments. In this installment, you've got a shield that has been added to your arsenal, and it is the biggest game changer here. The shield is a fun addition that allows you to easily block your enemy's attacks, making you feel like an unstoppable force on the battlefield. But you can also use the shield as a weapon and throw it at your enemies, which surprisingly feels way better than I was expecting, and is a lot of fun to use. Unfortunately, when it comes to the arsenal as a whole in this game, I found it to be kind of disappointing this time around. In Dark Ages, I found myself gravitating towards a few weapons that became my personal favorites throughout the playthrough, and I never felt like I really had to use everything that was at my disposal. And sadly, the most disappointing addition to the gameplay here is the dragon and Doom mech sequences. Despite looking really cool in cutscenes and throughout the various marketing we got leading up to the game's release, once I actually got my hands on the controller and got to feel the dragon and the Doom mech in action, I was so disappointed by how bland they feel. I'd go as far as to say they feel tacked on and gimmicky. You can tell they were put into this game game to try and help mix up the pacing of the gameplay and prevent it from feeling too repetitive and too samey, but anytime the dragon or the Doom mech scenarios popped up in the campaign, I found myself immediately wanting to get back to Doom Guy. Overall, Doom the Dark Ages is an underwhelming experience. It's not bad, it's more Doom, it's just not as good Doom. I'm gonna be giving Doom the Dark Ages a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff. And what's your favorite Doom game? I'd love to know.